Hello and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I want to prune up my Lantana. It's got some powdery stuff on it. I think it happened because I took it outside in April. The weather at night was still pretty cold, but there are places where new growth is coming out that I can prune to, and I'm going to try and prune away all of the trees with the powdery residue on them. Let's get started. It's kind of ugly. Strange root base. This part of it is dead, and I'm reluctant to snip it off just yet. It'll look kind of funny. Maybe I should. That doesn't look too bad. All right, these leaves that are coming down off the bottom of this, I've got two branches coming out of the same spot. The young branch looks pretty good. The older one has all of the large leaves. Let me just take off the large leaves and reevaluate. If I can encourage this little branch to grow on, that might be the best decision. And there's a lot of growing season left, so I don't feel too bad about this. Just going to take the lower leaf off, and this one. There's another little branch coming from the same spot. I'm going to take that off completely and let this lignify. A couple of damaged leaves I'll take off. And it divides, but it's growing back on itself. That's not a division, that's a leaf. I'm going to take that lower one off. Maybe I ought to take them all off. And position this branch so that it gets light. Next, let me take off some of the damaged leaves and evaluate this branch. It comes up and splits into two. There's a pruning stub there. My experience has been this generates leaves from the cut points. This is a confusing part of this branch. I'm going to take the whole thing off. Might as well be brutal with this. Here's a natural point for cutting. Can leave this part. Just take the damaged leaves off of this. Boy, oh boy, this little tree has problems. I'm going to take this back to the lignified section. These Lantana, they grow well, and the flowers are just gorgeous. They are not, by the way, typical bonsai, but they react pretty well to pruning. Take the top off of that, remove this leaf and this leaf. And I'm going to remove all the damaged leaves, whether it screws with the composition or not. I'm basically just trying to open it up, seeing if getting light to the interior helps in any way. These trees wintered indoors. And there were periods where I forgot to water them. They got all droopy. I'd water them, they'd wake up again. And maybe the leaves that are damaged were damaged as a part of that. Here's a big branch in the back. It gives the tree some depth. So removing the larger branches, the larger leaves, ensuring that light goes to everything. I think is the way to go. Not getting much of a shape here, or much of a shape I'm proud of. But let's see what the season brings. Taking this whole branch off here, really making this tree compact. Okay, that's it. I'm as happy with this little tree as I could possibly be right now. Let me get the others. There are two more like this. I'll put it on the picnic table where I'll spray it with soap and water and then put it back on the bench. If I can stop doing what I'm doing. All right, let's let it grow. Let me get the other ones. Here's the next little lantana. It's got a nice canopy, but this silvering that's happening to these leaves is a little troubling. I don't think it's insect. I think it was damaged by frost. But it's May now, middle May. I'm not worried about frost anymore. I can give these things a nice boost. This one I love. This one has beautiful, beautiful lines to it. Let's see if I can keep it beautiful. Here's a branch growing back. Not such a good thing. There's a stub here I want to take off. It's also got something growing out the bottom. Take this branch out that's growing from underneath. It had a lot of nice growth on it, but there's that silvering. Yeah, I don't like that at all. But it has the potential to put out some nice healthy growth. I gotta clean that up. I'm going to have to go over that with a knife. Some little growth down at the bottom there. If you can see that. Stub here. Still a little loose in the pot. Like I said, this spent all winter indoors. It came out when I thought the weather was turning nicer. Moving old leaves and damaged leaves. And there are new leaves coming out pretty much everywhere. This branch is dead from here up. Old leaf. Old leaf. Damaged leaf. Leaf growing in toward the tree. Leaves that have no business being there. I'd love this one to look healthy. Damaged leaf, damaged leaf. I think I pruned this one over the winter. Look at that. Take that whole section down. And I did. Get these as annuals. And they get very woody, as you can see. Once this lignifies, it really stiffens up. That looks pretty good, huh? I was afraid of this. Once I remove all the damaged leaves, there's not much left. But it should bounce back. And I am going to spray it. Alright, that's about it. Let me get the third one. I'm tempted to prune this one back hard because no taper. No taper. Nice taper from here to here. If I pruned it back to here, would I get growth there? And if I pruned it back, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm just going to prune it back and see if anything is happening with this guy. Very, very hard wood. Removing the damaged leaves. Leaves going off in weird directions, blocking parts of the tree. Oak debris is everywhere. Although I think that ended yesterday. We had some heavy rain yesterday and the day before. And I think all of the oak debris is done. Goes back in and blocks everything. This whole thing goes back around and down. Part of that I liked, but can't have everything. These are mostly beautiful leaves. Let's see what develops there. I've got a branch starting to develop under this dead branch here. Take a little more of that away. Got a dead branch here, which tells me that I pruned it to grow from there. Instead, it grew from the base. All right, well, I guess I know what this tree does now. Not everywhere, though. Damaged leaf here. Errant leaf. They do grow in funny directions, but I think that might have had more to do with the wind and the rain. And once again, when you cut the damaged leaves off, sometimes there isn't much left. And this is coming down. So that's a new branch, and the one above it is dead. So let me get rid of that. See if I can do it without cutting the other branch. See, I don't love this tree, this particular one. I do love lantanas though, they are beautiful. The leaves have a kind of a funny smell. I wouldn't describe it as a good smell. but it smells wholesome, so I guess that's something. Yeah, these branches came out and were a little too flimsy. So, what do I do? Let that develop. You know, flimsy for the weather when it was windy. Hopefully the new growth will come out and be strong. I'm trying to decide if I should cut this branch off. Doesn't give me much of a tree in the end, but I don't know. I do like that movement, and maybe I'll get something down lower here. I'm doing it. It's kind of a weird tree now, but these were some old Lantana from my yard that I rescued. Let them overwinter now twice in the house. They were all together in one big planting at one time. All right, let's let this grow on. All right, that's it for today. My 3 Lantana. That's a pretty bad leaf there, isn't it? Prune down to their bare essentials. I'm going to let them grow on for the summer. They're no longer in the way of anything on the bench. I'll get some cut paste on those wounds and we'll just let them grow. Thank you for keeping me company in my backyard. And it looks like the miniature daisies in my vineyard pension are opening. I have some more of this that I salvaged, and there's a lot yet to open if you can see how many of those little flower heads there are. This is going to be exciting. I have some left over in the greenhouse in a little pot, and I'm really considering these for one of those planters in Central Park for scale. Pretty cool.